Hi everybody. I've gotten this question asked of me a few times, and so I just want to go ahead and do a video for everybody getting started with the flexions with the correct handholds and what you're looking for in a response from your horse. The first one is thumbs in the bit, fingers around the cheek piece. Thumb in the bit, fingers around the cheek piece. Another handhold that I've seen is thumb on the ring of the bit and fingers around the ring of the bit. Another handhold that I use if I particularly want to feel what the horse is doing with the bit is I have my fingers directly on the bit mouthpiece itself, right here. So those are your basic positions. First, I'm going to set my horse up as square as I can get her in the front feet. I'm going to use the thumbs in hold right here. There, as she's giving the mouth right now. I like to try to get my hand out of the way so you can see what the horse is doing. Say, if you're involved in the French approach, and you know some of the terminology, something you will hear is cesson de mâchoire, which is the release of the jaw. Basically, it's a relaxed movement of the jaw, and we would like the horse to do this whenever we pick up the contact. Some people call it savoring the bit, like you would savor a lozenge. Some people call it licking and chewing, but that's not quite right. That's not a bad movement, but that's not exactly what we're looking for. First thing I'm going to check in this position is she high enough to be light? And people have asked me about that, and one of the things I will say is, can I do a demi-arrête and have her raise her neck an inch or 2 inches? And if she can, then she's high enough to be light, which she can. She is high enough to be light. I want her a little bit more distance so that you can see more of what's going on. So one of the first things we want to check is high enough to be light, and to do that we use a movement we call a demi-arrête. So it's upward pulsating actions. It can be a vibration or a shiver, depending on what the horse needs. So you see upward action. It doesn't need to be really strong if it's not needed to be strong. Sometimes it needs to be fairly strong for the horse to be light. So high enough to be light. Good girl. After I make any movement with the horse or any request of the horse, I'm going to go to another idea in the French tradition called descente du mât, which is to stop acting with the hand. So demi-arrête, descente du mât. I'm not acting, I'm just here. I don't want to hold her in the position I want. I want to explain it to her and for her to help me by finding it and maintaining it. So demi-arrête, descente du mât. The first flexion we will do is a 90-degree flexion. I usually like to keep their nose to my sternum, but I want to be out of the way so that you can see what I'm doing. I would normally be here, but that doesn't help you very much. So I'm out of the way to show the 90-degree flexion. 90 degrees. Giving the mouth. There we go, giving the mouth. Good. And she stayed on the same plane. In other words, her neck didn't go higher or lower in this flexion. Stayed the same. That's important. There, that's a nice flexion. High enough to be light. I want to be able to be in descente du mât. Might give a little demi-arrête to say, can you please stay here? And she's giving the mouth. Good. Now I will do the same thing in the other direction. Again, high enough to be light, demi-arrête if I need it, descente du mât. In other words, I'm letting her finish up the work. Back to the center. Good, I'm going to do that because it's not only can we do the flexion, but can we do the flexion and have a nice transition in between positions. That's part of the work. So here we are, she's relaxed, she's here, 90 degrees. Good. Smooth, not fussing, giving the mouth, and back to center. Good. I'm going to repeat my flexion to the right, as I would with her nose to my sternum. Not touching it necessarily, but that's kind of where I want her to be. Okay, nose to the sternum, I'll get out of the way. There, she's giving the jaw. Good. And back to center. Good. Giving the drop. Good girl. Those are the basic flexions from the front and the hand positions you'll use to do that. The standard hand position here is 1 or 2 fingers in the bit ring. Take the rest of the reins in your hand. This is a safety measure in case the horse startles and gets away from you. You want to be able to hold the rein, maybe slide down and keep track of your horse. So I have 1 finger in the ring, 3 fingers around the rein, thumb over the cheek piece. That is the handhold from the side. Some people are more comfortable with 2 fingers in the ring. That's okay too. Then we pick up our offside rein, and the handhold position there is fingers under the rein, thumb on top, knuckles towards the horse, right here. You want your hand to pretty much be on the meat of the shoulder of the horse. And you want to be equidistant between your hands. Okay. So the first thing that I like to do, because we have the most control on this flexion about twisting, drawing them towards us first can get us into some twisting issues. So I first want to have them flex away. That gives me a little bit more control over twisting. So here we go. Finger in, thumb over the cheek piece, rest of the rein in my hand. Draw with this rein, ask for the flexion. Again, I want her nose and head to stay at the same height. I want to be able to be in descent du mas, where I'm not acting on the bit. Descent du mas. Back to center. Good. She is yielding the jaw. I'm going to do that one more time. Her head stays on the same height. There we go. Demi-arrête if she's a little low, but she's not. She's doing a nice job. And back to center. If the horse is new and is struggling quite a bit in the new flexion, you can, it's not a problem, go flexion. They give you a nice try. They've been struggling a little bit. And then you can just drop the rein and tell them that they did a good job. That's not a problem. Now I'll do the same thing from the other side. Knuckles towards the horse's neck, thumb up. 1 finger in the ring, the rest of the fingers around the rein, thumb over the cheek piece. All right, flexion away. A little bit more struggle this way, that's okay. I'm gonna wait for her to settle. Good, and I'm gonna bring her back to straight. Because it was a bit of a struggle, I'm going to ask her again. Flexion away. A little bit better. Mouth is mobile. Good. And straight. When you try the flexions towards you, be mindful if the horse is twisting the head or laying one of the ears down. Let's see how T does today. Finger in the ring. Rest of the fingers around the rein. Thumb over the cheek piece. A little higher, demi-arrête. Now I'm going to bring her towards me. See what happens. I get some twisting. I don't have as much control, but I was able to help her a little bit with my outside rein. There, that's not bad. Good. But that's why I do that later once they understand the mechanics of going ahead and giving me the flexion from me being on the outside of the flexion. And I got some twisting over here. There we go, up a little higher. There we go. There we go. Not too bad. And straight. Lost my outside rein there for a minute. You didn't see that. The next thing that we usually show a horse so that they have a pretty full range of what we want them to know is we want to be able to raise the neck and extend the neck. Raising the neck is a demi-arrête, upward acting pulses. When we want them to extend the neck, that will be a release when they're further along. But at the beginning, we teach them an aid, and we call it action-reaction. If a horse pulls a lot, you may not want to teach them this right away. We take the rein, over the pole, take a loop, same handhold on the ring, again, knuckles towards the horse, thumb on top, and what I'm going to do is bring my hands together to imitate having contact in both reins. And then I'll ask her, with increasing pressure and release as she thinks about it, for, get here, action, reaction, or extend the neck. If they're a little bit stuck, there we go, you can rock their neck gently back and forth. And I obviously did not teach her this because she was putting her head on the ground when she came. So you get to see a horse learn. Action, reaction, good. Demi-arrête, upward pulsing, upward pulsing, upward pulsing. And hands together, action, reaction. There. And I want to stay here and have cesson de mâchoire with her in this position, which she is moving the mouth. You'll just have to take my word for it. So you can see it from the offside rein over the pole. I'm picking up a loop, same hold on the bit, hands come together. If she's a little stuck, I'll just move her just a little bit to say, hey, I don't have a lot of pressure on the bit because she's already trying something. I just want her to try something in particular for me. So there, good girl, yes. And then descent du mât. I'm here, but I'm not acting. I'm just here. That way she knows this is where I want her to be. But that I still may want to talk to her here, because that's important too. We don't want to put them somewhere and have them go, well, I'm here, you don't need to talk to me anymore. Up, 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 up. Action, reaction. Good, no doubt. Good, yeah. That's the stuff. Up, 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 up. Action, reaction. Good.